battle for the box office win is heating up this holiday season, with Mufasa from Disney making a rather surprising comeback, unless you understand what's really going on. Can Bob Iger and a strategy of shutting out Sonic 3 making Paramount shout, "Why can't we get theaters?" Will it work? Well, we'll tell you and explain what's really going on behind the scenes right now. Happy holidays, folks. We can say that now because Christmas is in the rearview mirror, Hanukkah is here, and New Year's is on its way. And we here today are ready to tell you why Sonic 3 still might win at the box office despite every single effort from Disney to block the poor Hedgehog from a win. It's a huge thing for Disney because they cannot stand the idea that their boy brand, Lion King, would be put down by an upstart franchise that could tear them apart, especially if Paramount invests heavily into a Sega cinematic universe. We'll tell you all about it. Click the like button. Here we go. Disney bullies theaters, forcing Mufasa on more theaters than Sonic 3, even as the Hedgehog earns far more. It says, as the holiday season unfolds, the cinematic landscape reveals a familiar pattern. Disney flexing its box office muscles by dominating theater allocations. However, this year brings an unusual twist as Sonic the Hedgehog 3 has emerged as the unexpected box office leader. Disney's approach to holiday releases has long relied on securing the widest possible theater footprint. This strategy ensures that their films are accessible to the broadest audience, squeezing out competitors. Historically, this tactic has been highly effective. You can see Toy Story 2 had a record-breaking 3,236 theaters at a time when there were far fewer theaters than there are today. And just this year, Moana 2 debuted in a staggering 4,200 theaters, Thanksgiving 2024. Disney trying to put the squeeze on Wicked, right? That's the Disney way, because Disney has a way with theaters because they have more contractual leverage than the smaller guys. It's good to be big if you're a rat. Despite Disney's dominance, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 has managed to outpace the competition at the box office, raking in more than $60 million in its opening weekend and securing the top spot in North America. Yet its success is overshadowed by a significant limitation: the inability to expand its theater count. What are we talking about? Well, take a look at this, folks. Currently showing in 3,769 locations, Sonic 3 faced a bottleneck caused by contractual obligations theaters have with Mufasa. How many new theaters did Sonic 3 get after beating Mufasa? Nationwide, folks. Nationwide, 8. The biggest movie in the nation managed to secure 8 additional screens across all of North America. That's 51 states, including Canada. I kid. So Disney essentially said, no, you're not going to give more screens to Sonic 3. They held on to a theater number dominance. And that is why, guess what? For the day of Christmas, Mufasa comes out on top in terms of gross box office, finally overtaking Sonic 3, but not in the overall amount that they have both earned. We'll explain. For Christmas Day, Mufasa the Lion King lands in first place with 14.7 million, and it was shown in 4,100 theaters. So 100 shy of Moana 2. Nosferatu comes in with 11.5, and Sonic the Hedgehog 3 comes in with 10.3 million. What's interesting, though, are the theaters in which Mufasa the Lion King was shown. And we're going to be working on this, folks. We'll be working on getting the attendance numbers because we think that's really going to be where the story is. Sonic 3, unable after that first week to pick up more theaters than Mufasa, which is what we predicted, by the way. And guess what? Per theater average, Mufasa now picks up 3,500 versus Sonic's 2,700. But Nosferatu was 3,900 because Nosferatu was only on in less than 3,000 theaters. But we believe, or at least we're strongly speculating at this time, that part of what gave Mufasa the win, besides Disney hogging the theaters away from the Hedgehog, is the fact that basically, if you wanted to see an IMAX, you had to see Mufasa. Well, what do people want to do on Christmas Day? They're feeling more cheerful They have traditions to maintain. I believe families are interested in taking their crew to the nicest, best theater they can on Christmas. And for that reason, the fact that Mufasa had more theaters and they had all the bestest theaters, i.e. IMAX, I think that's what gave Mufasa the win. But I still think that Sonic 3 is going to edge out Mufasa long term, because I think that after this upcoming weekend, Disney will no longer have the contractual ability to hold those theaters. And I think it'll start going to Sonic. Sonic still has an advantage in North America of about $23 million. But this race is heating up now, and it will be interesting to see how it plays out. Panel, what say you?
Well, of course, the obvious thing here is that Sonic 3 actually has the benefit of good word of mouth, that people actually enjoy Sonic the Hedgehog 3, whereas I have not met a normal person who is excited about Mufasa, the prequel to the CGI animated remake of The Lion King. I think they would probably make more money just re-releasing The Lion King into theaters than this. Whereas Sonic 3, people are talking about the sequels that they could make to Sonic 3. People are talking about the spin-offs to Sonic that they could make. This is the epitome of everything that is wrong with the Disney live action remake model. It's not even a live action remake, and it's a prequel to a movie that shouldn't have existed in the first place. So I think everyone is just kind of rolling their eyes at the existence of this film that Disney has convinced themselves needs to exist.
Ron, Vash, do you think that Sonic 3 will be able to hold off Mufasa?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, good. Give us your thoughts on it.
Well, I have a different theory than you as to why people might have gone to see Mufasa on Christmas Day. My theory is that, you open your presents, you have your Christmas meal, and then you want something that's going to get you to sleep. So you go see Mufasa because that's going to help just knock you right out. Sonic 3 was such a good movie. Sonic 3 is it's kind of weird. It is the kind of movie that as soon as you get out, you want to go back and watch it like immediately again. You want to pick up on everything you missed. Jim Carrey does so much in that film that it's one of those films you love, you watch, it's exciting, but you missed stuff. So like I want to see more of this. So I'm planning on taking my boys again on Tuesday. That will be the second time. 2 out of the 3 of us will have seen it. Nobody has a desire to see Mufasa until maybe it comes on Disney Plus and we might watch it. But it's just, I think long term, especially domestically, we're going to see Sonic definitely beat Mufasa domestically. I can't speak to the international box office because I don't know what that crowd wants, because it looks like Mufasa is actually doing better internationally than it's doing domestically.
Let me give you a reason why Disney holding all the IMAXs really matters. And we put our crackpot team of researchers on this. Turns out that if you remove the PLF, that's the premium screens that Disney is hogging, the average ticket price for this holiday season is likely somewhere around $10.53. Approximate. It could be up or down slightly because the holiday season hasn't ended, so we don't have final tallies there. The average IMAX ticket price, we believe, for this holiday season is going to be almost $16. So you can see the delta between those ticket prices and why Mufasa would make a lot more money if it's on every single IMAX, and we believe that essentially it is. So I think that's playing a huge part, but it could be, as Ron says, that people are looking for a snooze, and going back to Lion King is giving them the opportunity to do so. Vash, what's your take on it?
That's the thing with those PLFs or those premium large format screens that you were just talking about. Because that delta is so high, your take theater on average moves up for sure, but that also means that less people are actually seeing Mufasa than they are Sonic 3. That's the thing right there that you kind of have to understand if the amounts are very, very close. So I do think Sonic 3 will edge out here. The thing that's going to be really interesting to watch from Paramount's end is if they put Sonic 3 on streaming sooner than they should. We've seen this with a lot of these studios here, where they'll just undercut their films, supposedly just by delivering their box office product on their streaming services. And it's completely bizarre why they do this. We've seen this where they'll put it out there like 3 weeks, sometimes 4 weeks, and so forth. Now, Sonic 3 does have a delayed rollout internationally, so hopefully that'll keep it in theaters longer. But that's the only thing that could really upend Sonic 3's momentum right now, is that they say, well, we're going to put it on streaming tomorrow or something. That would be that'd be a bad choice.
You have just brought forth, you've manifested into the world this. All right, breaking news, just as Vash was saying, Wicked announced it will be available to purchase or rent from home starting December 31st on digital platforms such as Amazon Prime Video, Apple TV, Fandango, At Home, and more. Vash, exactly what you're saying. I think this is going to, I think they really, and people in our space may disagree, and that's fine. That's okay. We can all speculate. But if I were them, I'd be holding Wicked until January 3rd, 4th, 5th, something like that. I would not be putting this out because I think people would like to go see this during the New Year's holiday in theaters still.
Why do they do this? Why is the windowing practice so short? It used to be like 6 months, then it turned to about 3. I think 3 months is about right. But to deliver a film like this within like a month's time of this film coming out, maybe a month and a half, it just really does the box office dirty, because all the parents in the audience, or everybody who's a little bit like, oh, okay, well, should we wait for it, should we not, they're going to look at something like this and say, oh, we only have to wait how long? Okay, we'll wait for that, and we won't necessarily go to the theater. Otherwise we would have, right? So this whole undercutting at the box office like they do in order to send these films as loss leaders to their streaming platforms, it's a bad move.
Let me show you this again, Vash, and this is just me conjecturing at the moment, but why would Wicked be going to streaming so quickly and in a way that seems to cut its own ability to make money at the box office out? Well, folks, take a look at those theater counts. Mufasa's got 4,100. Nosferatu's got almost 3,000. Sonic has 3,700. Now, if I'm a theater owner, as soon as I can, I'm giving Sonic more screens. Okay? Disney has a stranglehold on the theaters where they basically can't get rid of Mufasa. And I'm going to bet that Disney is going to do everything they can to keep Moana 2 on as many theaters as they can. And this is me thinking, and panel, you disagree if you would like, and you might be right. I'm willing to be wrong on this. But if I'm a Universal exec, I'm looking at this next weekend and saying, okay, where are those screens going to come from to go to Sonic? And I'm thinking I might get some of my screens pulled. Well, how do I keep making money on this? I'm going to get my New Year's money off of streaming. I'm not saying that it's the right call. I'm just saying that this Disney chokehold on theaters with these contracts, I think, is playing a part in it. Jonas, am I right? Am I wrong? What do you say?
No, I think Disney has a horrible history when it comes to how they've treated theatrical people here. They probably took their success with Deadpool 3 and with Inside Out 2 and parlayed it into some bad deals for AMC and the other Cinemarks out there. Famously with Last Jedi, they said, if you want Last Jedi, we want 4 theaters, 4 showings minimum, 4 theaters dedicated to this movie at the cost of anyone else who might have been there, because they had Force Awakens behind them here. This is the thing where Disney has a tendency to play dirty in this space. And Sonic 3, well, heaven help them, Paramount really doesn't have a lot of clout right now, despite having a lot of really great movies that we all would like, but they don't have, I mean, the Sonic movies, as big as they are for Paramount, they are financial successes more than they are big blockbuster billion-dollar successes. So the theaters are going to go with whoever moves more tickets. So yeah. I can also see with the premium format thing, probably overlooking the rabid Sonic fan base. Hopefully these things can get bigger and bigger so that someone other than Disney can swing this stick. But
let's say this, Jonas. We're not mad at Disney. Like, if if you're the biggest kid on the block, and Disney has been, it makes total sense that Disney would contractually obligate these theaters to playing Mufasa and Moana 2 to the damage of their competitors. Like, we don't take any umbrage at that. We think that's a smart play by Disney. It's the theaters that need to push back, in our estimation, over the next years and say, I'm sorry, Disney, you're no longer the guarantee that you once were, and we're not going to be bought into these contracts with you anymore. We're not doing it.
I would like to see that personally. I think that Disney, obviously, Sonic 3 is beating Mufasa by most metrics. And if Sonic 3 had the clout to do a worldwide global release at the same time, the way that Disney is doing with Mufasa, there's not a question in my mind that Sonic 3 would be beating Mufasa right now. So I don't know. I think this is just that Paramount is a teeny tiny company compared to Disney. And it's just going to take some more movement in this space, and for Disney to keep down this copy and paste degradation at their company before we see someone else come in. We really need that. We really need whatever's going on there at Skydance, which now owns Paramount or will own Paramount soon, if all the regulatory goes through, for more companies to be dedicated to this space, because Disney will outspend to a point of not being profitable in order to say that they have that number one spot. Paramount is not going to do that. They cannot survive if they do that. Disney is a zombie company that is just kind of a mob that has enough dollars, enough energy to swing around in order to be bullies in the space. They're willing to be bullies to get their product in front of people so that they can say that they are number one, because being number one is more important than delivering value to shareholders.
And remember, folks, go ahead, Ron.
I was just going to ask, isn't Wicked re-releasing a sing-along version into theaters? How does that work? That's what I don't know if it already happened, if they already did it. I thought they were re-releasing a sing-along version with like the lyrics on the screen. And so I heard that like a month ago.
Yeah. So I know that they had done that internationally. And it looks like, I'm checking this right now. Yes, they have released in limited theaters a sing-along version. So yes, that is out there.
I'll point out one more thing as well. Digital is important to people who are anxiously waiting to see these movies. But when they come out on digital, they're like $30. I think the premium video on demand, paid video on demand space is a little smaller than I think we would like. What we're really looking at is whether or not it's going to end up on the subscription on-demand streaming services where people don't have to pay an additional amount for it, because those are the people that are really wanting to see this. So a sing-along version, the people who are waiting until a January 3rd, 4th, or 5th to watch a movie like this, I'm not sure that they're going to be affected by a $30 version of Wicked appearing on Fandango at home or Apple iTunes or something like that. I'm not sure that that's the one that's going to move the needle here.
You still do long-term damage, though, to the theater model when you have these shorter windowing practices, because I think there are like people who just go, you know what, I would have otherwise given this a shot if this thing wasn't going to hit streaming on a service that I already own in such a short amount of time. And that's the thing there. Also, too, PLFs. We only have about 950 PLFs in North America, even though, I mean, just the population of this country alone is 350 million. That means that only about, if you have about 4 showings a day in any one PLF, that's about 1.2 million people, let's say, that could even see your film in that specific format right there. We really need to increase the amount of PLFs that are available.
Which theaters are by far the largest, the standard or the PLFs?
PLFs for sure.
They're huge, right?
Yeah.
So they also have higher capacities.
Right.
Okay. I'm just helping people. I'm guiding us along onto why Mufasa might be doing what it's doing and the tactics Disney is using. Not here to be negative towards Disney. I'm just telling you this is how the business works, Ron.
They have much higher capacities too. Like their capacities are 3 to 4 times the size of a regular theater. Often, when I go to an IMAX, I look around. There's like 400 or 500 seats. It feels like.
Right. Exactly. And so that's the game Disney is playing. It's up to the theaters to figure this out. And, up until the last few years, maybe up until The Last Jedi, theaters had a very cozy relationship with Disney because Disney subsidized everything they did, right? Disney put out a blockbuster and that paid the whole year. Okay, cool. But that's not happening anymore. These are not guarantees anymore. We'll have to see how this plays out. By Sonic 4, things may have turned around for Paramount. Pulling Hollyweird to the sensible center, the mainstream middle where money is made is not easy, but folks, you make it easy to make videos each and every day because sharing time with you is a great honor, and we never take it lightly. An attitude of gratitude every single time we have the chance to shine with you. Until the next time, we only ask that you click that like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And folks, don't worry about paying any kind of tuition for this free class and how entertainment works. You are on scholarship. Highest IQ on the internet. That's you for sure. Until the next time we have the opportunity to spend time together, folks, we just ask that you keep learning, keep growing, and as ever, keep having fun.